Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Don't be alarmed, I'm about to change shirts in this intro. I had to refilm this part, but today we are going to make some shampoo bars using a kit. Okay, now Katie in a new shirt. Now I have a whole video, it looks like this. This is what the thumbnail looks like, where you can go watch me make my personal proprietary shampoo bar recipe, but this is actually a kit from Brambleberry. They sent me this sea salt and lily shampoo bar kit a while back, and I am just now getting to try it. And I think this is going to be another one of those things that if you've never made something like this before, don't worry. You're going to have everything that you need in the kit. And it's a great foray into making your own shampoo and conditioner bars. This is something that I personally predict will become more and more and more available as time goes on, because it reduces the need for plastic and it creates a very concentrated way to clean your hair. When you're using regular shampoo, that bottle is like 70% water and like 30% active ingredient, where almost all of a shampoo bar is just straight active ingredients. So you don't have to use that much to get your hair really clean. And if you don't want to have to buy all of those weird individual products and learn about formulating and hair type and which conditioning and emulsifying agents are going to bond together, blah, 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 a kit. The kit price is $65.99. And if that is a sticker shock for you, again, I will just say it contains a lot of ingredients that, if purchased by themselves, are typically a lot more expensive. And if you just want to purchase a shampoo or conditioner bar to try, I make them. Other people make them. You can get them on Amazon anywhere between maybe 12 to 18-ish. But if you want to try and make them yourself, this is a really solid way to do that. And let's go ahead and unbox the kit. First, we have the recipe and ingredients. Looks like this also comes with a pre-made label, which is really great. Oh my gosh, the little labels are so cute. We have our D-L-Panthenol and our BTMS 50. Awesome. We have some hexagon clamshells. Now, by molding these in a clamshell, it's true that you do add plastic back into the equation, but also this would be a really great travel case for the future, so that once you've used up your shampoo bar, you could actually take future shampoo bars and put them in this case so they wouldn't get smeary on all your other toiletries during travel. There's a couple of ways you could get around that if you wanted to. Now we have our foaming noodles. These are sodium cocoyl isethionate noodles. They are an alternative to sodium lauryl sulfate, so a gentle surfactant cleanser. Got some gloves, gonna need that. Got a little bit of cocoa butter, a little container of sodium lactate, bubble booster. It says Cat B, which I do believe stands for cocamidopropylbetaine, which is again another gentle cleanser and sort of a foam booster. And then we have some extracts. GeoGuard 221, this is a preservative. The lovely sea salt and lily fragrance. Water soluble green tea extract. That is such a nice additive for hair. And some dropper tools. This recipe requires me to heat the SCI noodles and get them into sort of that mushy consistency. So let me set up my table for this project, and we'll be back when it's time to measure everything out. Okay, I have my little hot plate going. I'm gonna place my stainless steel bowl on top. Actually, before I put anything in this, I am gonna spritz it with rubbing alcohol and wipe it down. Nice. And then I am going to pour my SCI noodles in. These are already pre-measured. And while that water is heating up and these noodles start to melt, we're gonna measure out the rest of the ingredients. Just gonna measure out my cocoa butter here, add in my BTMS 50, and now our water-soluble ingredients, starting with our sodium lactate. Just using one of my droppers for this because it is really difficult to be precise. This is also why I've moved to a smaller scale. The AWS 100 is an absolute mandatory item. I mean, any scale that will measure 0.01 grams is pretty necessary for doing any sort of cosmetic formulating. And I have have this particular scale linked in my Amazon storefront. Wow, the green tea extract actually smells good. And the D-L-panthenol, which is water soluble. I am going to use the end of my little dropper here to mix in that D-L-panthenol until it is almost fully dissolved. Just added in the right amount of fragrance oil to my melted BTMS 50 and cocoa butter. So these 2 beakers are ready to go. Things are definitely getting a little more squishy up in here. Gonna put a little lid over this for a very short amount of time, about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll keep an eye on it and bring you guys back to look at the inside after we formed a thick paste. All right, 15 minutes later, we have a bit of melting. Some of those SCI noodles are all but gone. We have this nice paste. It's been warmed. So at this point, we're going to add our water-soluble ingredients and our oily ingredients as well. I also added in the preservative. You only need a teeny tiny amount. And I'm just going to mix this in very slowly. I don't want anything to splash. I wanted to get all melty and gooey with the rest of our ingredients. The smell is so gorgeous and it's so strong. All right, this looks good. It's starting to firm up a little bit, so I'm going to take it off the heat. It is 161 degrees, which is exactly how hot it needs to be for molding. We have 6 shampoo bars to make, and actually I read ahead a little bit and they were saying you could just use these as molds. So if you make them, you don't actually have to give them away or anything in the plastic. You can just reuse them over and over and over again and sell or give away the shampoo bars in some more eco-friendly packaging if you wanted to. You could also simply advertise this as being a waterless formula. There's a couple of different ways that you could chit-chat about it with your pals or your customers. This first bit that I'm adding in, I'm really just trying to make sure that everybody gets roughly the same amount. Not really worried about like making sure it gets into all the corners and stuff yet. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody gets a lot of product. Then any extra I have, I'm gonna go back to this first one. It's warm, but it's not too warm. These look awesome and they're cooling very rapidly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let these sit for a couple of hours. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to clean up the edges of these molds and we're going to pop these out of the containers and let them sit for a couple of days. And then I will take one of these to my shower. I will test it out. I'll let you know the hair feel and what my hair feels like after the shower. If it's sticky, if it's dry, if it feels nourished, which is based on these ingredients how I expect it to feel, and I will give you my final thoughts and conclusion. I actually ended up using this shampoo bar for 3 weeks. It was the only shampoo bar that I used. I took it with me to Kansas whenever Caleb and I went there for Christmas. They have very different water than I have at home. And my hair today is the result of having washed last night. So I didn't blow my hair dry. I typically sleep in damp hair because I'm not a very stylish girly. I'm not like doing a blowout and that sort of a thing. I just slept in my normal hair and then I added some curl to it and you can see how nice it looks. I have extremely oily roots, extremely. Like, you know, you hear about those people, they'll go like a week without washing and their hair looks perfect. Bestie, I can't go a single day. So that ought to tell you, like, the shampoo bar just really worked really good. This was a well-formulated recipe. I think it would work on all different types of hair. My daughter is a natural blonde and her hair leans quite dry. I didn't feel like it dried her hair out at all. That being said, this was a really easy kit to do. And if you're interested in creating waterless shampoo formulas, that would be a really nice starting point. If you wanted to do plastic-free packaging, you just pop it out. You could wrap it up in a coffee filter, like no issue tissue. They have the like biofilm shrink wrap if you wanted to be a little more fancy. I'm not a huge fan of biodegradable shrink wrap. I find that it won't stay tight around the product and it lets a lot of air in there. So I would lean towards more of a recyclable paper product, my own self personally, or a box made of recycled paper that could also be recycled. There's a lot of different options for packaging something like this out of the plastic. And then again, you could use this multiple times. Out of all the different things you can learn to make at home with lip balm or cold process soap, I think shampoo bars are among the most expensive things to make by yourself. When you purchase shampoo, 80% of that product is water. But when you have a condensed bar like this, it's like 100%, 98%, whatever active product. So it's a lot more costly to manufacture. So I think getting a kit is going to be your best bet. And then you don't have to worry about formulating a recipe or anything like that. If you decide you like it from using the kit, well, then you can deep dive into the world of hydrosols and emulsifiers and conditioning agents, sulfates, etc. Is this kit Royalty Soaps approved? It absolutely is. You can purchase it in the link in the description box below. I am so happy to have crafted this with you guys today. It was a lot of fun to get to try something new. If you have any requests for the upcoming new year, I would love to hear them. I'm going to be introducing somebody soon to the channel. Hint, hint, tease, tease. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, like going out there and playing in the snow. It's a snow day here in Texas, which means that we have maybe 1/8 of an inch of snow on the ground. But you know, I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you, and I'll see you in next week's video. Bye for now. Meow.